Part 5. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 41. Lin Feng met Wang Wei, went to a nearby restaurant together, found a small private room and sat down. Lin Feng did not tell Wang Wei about his feat on the bus, because it had nothing to do with Wang Wei. If the bus was not Shang Yuna is someone else, maybe Lin Feng will pretend not to see it. After ordering, Lin Feng said with a smile, "Why do you suddenly want to invite me to dinner? Seeing that you are dressed so hot, did you plan to seduce me before you go out in the morning?" Wang Wei grabbed the cutlery and gestured towards Lin Feng, and said coquettishly, "Who cares to seduce you? Don't think that you can tease me casually if you've helped me a lot. I really wanted to do it for you that time, and it was good on that rainy night. Do something wet once, but you pretend to be decent. Don't touch me, I'm afraid I won't have a chance in the future." Lin Feng wasn't pretending to be decent that time either, because decent can't be faked. If he is a decent person, even if he has dated Wang Wei that night, he is still decent. If he is not a decent person, even if he has not dated Wang Wei, he is still not decent. The reason why Wang Wei was not allowed that time was his principle. He didn't want Wang Wei, an old friend, to think of it and scold him in his heart in the future. Lin Feng was very depressed. Since college, he wanted to be with Wang Wei, to establish a special friendship, to play together, and to come here once in a while, but Wang Wei despised this kind of nondescript relationship, so Lin Feng touched her ass. I reminded him that time, "Don't be crooked, you kid, be careful that I don't recognize you as a friend. No chance, no chance. I don't have to be like you. I'm not a Rolls Royce, and I don't have to drink diesel." Wang Wei smiled brightly, and said leisurely after a while, "I finally recovered. I don't think about my savings of 120,000 yuan, and I won't always think about the debts I owe. It's a good thing to relax your mind, but the debt you owe must be repaid." "What do you mean, kid? I'm afraid I'll default on my debt, or I just borrowed some money from you, see you." "Don't be angry, I didn't mean that, just to remind you, I'm afraid you will get a warrant again." "Even if everyone in the world has a warrant, I will not warrant it again," Wang Wei said. The dishes he ordered came, and there was wine. Lin Feng was puzzled. Wang Wei not only wanted to accompany him to dinner, but also to drink with him. Wine could add to the fun. Could it be that he wanted to do something ambiguous after eating? But listening to Wang Wei's tone, she didn't want to be ambiguous with him anymore. "I'm afraid if he touches her hand now, she will be angry." Lin Feng didn't have the heart to try, and smiled, "Xiao Yi, touch one." After Wang Wei and Lin Feng clinked glasses, they seemed to have something to say, but they are hesitant to say anything, and after a while they say with a smile, "The food here is quite delicious. It tastes good." Lin Feng thought, "But I think this dish is far from the taste of your skin, but I have never tasted the taste of your skin. Maybe your skin is very sweet and tastes like milk, but this tastes so bland that you can only taste it by kissing your skin with your mouth." After clinking the glasses again, Wang Wei hesitated again, and Lin Feng said suspiciously, "Xiao Yi, I always feel that you have something to tell me. We have been friends for many years. Feel free to say anything." Lin Feng was worried that Wang Wei didn't want to pay Sun Yueling's money on a monthly basis. If Wang Wei asked for not to pay it on a monthly basis, he would refuse it. It must be paid on a monthly basis. "Your ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian, she is coming to Beijing." Lin Feng was immediately stunned. What was Shen Bingqian doing in Beijing? Didn't she and that guy named Zhao Liqiang were in Shenzhen? Zhao Liqiang's father also promised to buy them a luxury house in Shenzhen. Beijing is so big, she can come whenever she wants, it has nothing to do with me. I know she has nothing to do with you anymore. With your personality, you won't let her be your girlfriend anymore, Wang Wei said. Yes, she has already been excluded. Even if she is a bachelor in this life, she will not be considered. Lin Feng wondered. You mean, Shen Bingqian broke up with Zhao Liqiang? Separated? Why? Zhao Liqiang's big supermarket was on fire. It burned for more than 5 hours. All the goods were burned out. The house collapsed. 12 people were burned and nearly 20 people were burned. All the savings of Zhao Liqiang's family were not enough. For compensation, I also borrowed several million. Zhao Liqiang's father was arrested, and the safety channel and fire protection were not enough to cause a catastrophe. I don't know how many years to be sentenced. Several years. So it's divided. At the beginning, Shen Bingqian and Zhao Liqiang were good. What they valued was not Zhao Liqiang's handsome face, but his family's tens of millions of deposits. Now that the fire has been burned, he will definitely not continue to be with Zhao Liqiang, no matter what you are waiting for, Wang Wei said. Too selfish. If he thought of Shen Bingqian in the past, he still felt a little warm in his heart, but now, he doesn't have any good feelings for Shen Bingqian at all. It seems that this woman, Shen Bingqian, is really unreliable. Whoever looks for her will be unlucky. Yeah, Shen Bingqian is not very good, unless she is looking for a billionaire and nothing will happen in her life, otherwise, anyone who finds her will be very sad. Wang Wei sighed. Shen Bingqian is on the phone. Li cried to me for a long time. She didn't contact me for a long time. Sometimes I saw her on QQ, I shook her, she ignored me. This time she called me in the middle of the night, and cried for a long time. It seems to be a horror movie. I just had nightmares in the second half of the night, and the fire was raging, as if it was not Zhao Liqiang's supermarket, but the building where I lived. Don't pay attention to her, she's here for her. But she said that she will live with me first when she comes, and then go out to rent a house when she finds a job. You just refuse. But I agree. She is selfish. We can't be selfish together. When I think about it, when I lived in a dormitory, Shen Bingqian was also good to me. Of course, I was also very good to her, Wang Wei said. Shen Bingqian, it must be very painful, maybe she is about to collapse. Just 3 days before she planned to get the certificate with Zhao Liqiang, Zhao Liqiang's supermarket was closed, and then they started to break up, and it took a long time to break up. Lin Feng poured half a glass of wine by himself, drank it all in one gulp, looked at Wang Wei's face, and said with a smile, "You told me about Shen Bingqian, it seems that you not only want me to know this, do you still want me to express my opinion?" Shen Bingqian asked about you when she called me. She asked me, isn't Lin Feng also in Beijing? How is he? What did you say? I said alive. What did she say? She said, is he living well? Then I said, he is too good now, he is already a well-known online writer, with a monthly salary of more than 80,000. Lin Feng almost fell off the chair, stared at Wang Wei with wide eyes, got up angrily and pinched Wang Wei's face. Do you want to die? You bastard, it's too hard to screw me so hard, it hurts. Wang Wei touched her face and hummed, I don't want to put gold on your face. Let her regret it, let her. I deeply realize that kicking you for Zhao Liqiang was a huge mistake. It is indeed a mistake. Few people think that Lin Feng is a potential stock. They think that he will be like this all his life and will not live a rich life for a day, but Lin Feng has always considered himself a potential stock, and he has always worked hard. Even if it is a potential stock, if you don't work hard, you will not be able to realize your potential. Lin Feng understands this very well. Maybe in the future, he will be in the gang soon. His monthly salary is not more than 80,000, but his annual salary is more than 80,000. A person who earns more than 80,000 a month will not live like he is now. A person who earns more than 80,000 a month would never have his head kicked by the donkey several times in a row and then flooded with rain. Living in a partition room of more than 10 square meters, I listen to the sound of the neighbors' bodies hitting and shouting every night. But Lin Feng is indeed very relieved now, because Shen Bingqian is regretting it, and it is estimated that his bowels are blue. Lin Feng said again, I heard you say that my monthly salary is more than 80,000, oh, I ask this, I feel embarrassed, it was brave at the time to report such a terrifying number. I actually wanted to talk about the annual salary, but when I opened my mouth, I changed the year to the monthly salary. Although it was a lie, it helped you once, Wang Wei said proudly. It is powerful enough. Lin Feng's heart was trembling. What was her reaction? His voice trembled. He said tremblingly, that kid, he has made so much money now. I said, he was very talented before, but now he is popular. She must be terrified when she hears the fire, because Zhaolikiang's supermarket is on fire, Lin Feng said. Wang Wei laughed. But Lin Feng couldn't laugh at all. He realized that Shen Bingqian would definitely contact him when he arrived in Beijing. Lin Feng thought about it before, even if they broke up, they don't need to be so old and dead. After he buys a house in Beijing, Shen Bingqian and Zhao Liqiang can even be guests at his house, and he will serve good tea and wine. But now the situation is different. Shen Bingqian broke up with Zhao Liqiang because of this reason, which made Lin Feng feel sick again, making him want to vomit. He didn't even have the heart to be the most ordinary friend with Shen Bingqian. Xiao Yi, are we friends? Yeah, you're always asking nonsense. If we are not friends, what are we called friends? Then tell Shen Bingqian, my annual salary is not more than 80,000, but my monthly salary is more than 80,000. Oh, no, my monthly salary is not more than 80,000, but my annual salary is more than 80,000. Lin Feng's head is a little big. Wang Wei was stunned for a while, and soon she was laughing and crawled under the table. Lin Feng was very embarrassed. She took the opportunity to scratch Wang Wei's chest and said coldly, don't laugh. You kid, you laughed at me to death. I figured it out. You are very obsessed with the lie I told. If you want to tell the truth, you can tell her yourself. I won't tell you anyway. Then I won't talk about it. From now on, for a period of time, I will also assume that I have a monthly salary of more than 80,000. Lin Feng said to himself, if Shen Bingqian's selfish woman found him, he would take bye-bye. Shan brought his panda cigarettes, which shocked her crazy. Lin Feng had completely given up on Shen Bingqian in his heart, but after hearing these things, he was still a little depressed and had a desire to drink. Wang Wei seemed to see it. Lin Feng wanted to get drunk at this time, so she smiled at him. Lin Feng poured wine, but did not pour it into her glass. You don't drink anymore. My stomach is a little uncomfortable, I don't want to drink anymore. You drink it, I'll watch you drink it, Wang Wei said. Lin Feng took another sip of wine and took a bite of the vegetables. He found that Wang Wei's smile was very good looking, and it still tasted like when she was in college, but her life now is very different from that in college. She has experienced the taste of work, lost money and became a debtor. Compared with those who can drink very well, Lin Feng's drinking capacity is only average. He drank most of this bottle of white wine, his body floated a little, and his voice was a little crooked. Wang Wei didn't persuade him to stop drinking, she seemed to want him to continue drinking. You kid seems to have more alcohol than he was in college, do you still want to drink? I'll invite you to drink more than 100 yuan. I'll drink it if you dare to buy it. Lin Feng, who was already drunk, was a little fearless. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 42. Wang Wei really asked for a bottle of wine worth more than 100 yuan. When the waiter opened the wine, he kindly reminded, this gentleman is getting drunk. Lin Feng looked at the waiter and smiled. He didn't say anything malicious, but said with a smile, I'm still far from being drunk. The waiter didn't say much, just opened the drink and walked away. Her appearance was average, but she was in good shape. She was wearing work clothes issued by the restaurant, and she walked very reservedly. Maybe she has not turned into black fungus, but she must have fantasized about the kind of thing between men and women. Even if it didn't happen before, it will happen in the future. For those things that will inevitably happen, she will always think about it when she has time. After Lin Feng had another drink, it was obvious that she couldn't hold on anymore. Wang Wei felt that the heat was almost over, and immediately called out, "Waiter, pay the bill." After paying the bill, Wang Wei put the unfinished bottle of wine in her satchel, and then helped Lin Feng out of the restaurant. "The sun is really dazzling," Lin Feng said. "The sun has set. The earth is spinning," Lin Feng said. "The earth rotates every day. We are walking with the earth while it rotates and revolves. In fact, we are very busy every day, and we rotate in circles while lying in bed." Wang Wei smiled. Lin Feng didn't continue talking. He was very dizzy. The sky and the earth were spinning, but he didn't feel sick, and he wouldn't go crazy when he was drunk. He just liked to fall asleep on the bed. Wang Wei stopped a taxi and sat in the back row with Lin Feng. Lin Feng first fell on Wang Wei's shoulder, and soon lay in his arms, facing Wang Wei's belly. There is a very intoxicating aroma, but this aroma can only be smelled when he is awake. In this state, Lin Feng can't feel Wang Wei's aroma and softness. This guy is very drunk. If he wants to vomit, tell me to stop. This is for you. Try not to vomit on my car. The driver threw a plastic bag over. Wang Wei held the plastic bag in her hand, ready to use it for Lin Feng at any time, but Lin Feng seemed to be asleep. Maybe he wouldn't vomit on the road. Lin Feng's wine is very good. Although he doesn't drink a lot, he won't cause trouble when he's drunk, nor will he cry and shout for no reason, and he rarely vomits. The taxi arrived at the building where Wang Wei lived. Wang Wei helped Lin Feng to get out of the car, and the taxi drove away, but the young driver laughed, thinking, "A man is drunk like that, if a woman thinks about that, can only ride on the man's body and slap his ass." After a man drinks, the time for doing that thing will generally be extended. If it is a drunk man, although his mind is blurred, the thing can still be hardened. Regrettably, even if it was cool for a long time, it was only for women, and men didn't know what to do at all. I didn't feel soft and wet, nor did I feel the woman's round buttocks twitching wildly. The driver was so fascinated by his thoughts that he almost hit a cyclist, and then he came to his senses and shouted in his heart, "Yin is the devil." In fact, Italian silver is very wonderful, as long as you don't care about silver when you shouldn't. Wang Wei burst out with great strength, helped Lin Feng to her house, put Lin Feng on the sofa, smiled and patted Lin Feng's face. "Arrived home, haven't you woken up yet?" Lin Feng didn't react at all, and continued to sleep on the sofa. Even if Wang Wei gave him 2 slaps now, he wouldn't have much reaction. This is what Wang Wei wanted. She took out his key from Lin Feng's pocket and ran out. The nearby store could be equipped with the key. Wang Wei was equipped with the access key, the door key, and Lin Feng's cut off the room key, and then come back. It wasn't long before the key was assigned. When Wang Wei came back, Lin Feng was still sleeping, and this kid might be able to sleep until dawn. Wang Wei sat on the bed, took off her clothes, took off her bust photo, and took off her pants. She was naked for a while, and was about to take a shower. Wang Wei was not worried that Lin Feng would wake up suddenly, so she boldly walked past Lin Feng with her bare bottom, and went into the bathroom to take a shower. The warm water rushed to Wang Wei's body. She kept rubbing her body, including the pair of plump balls. She was even a little complacent because she had a good figure. Every time she takes a bath, Wang Wei will carefully wash her wet parts. That part is the most important part of a woman's body, and hygiene is very important. After taking a shower, Wang Wei put on new underwear and nightgown, then walked out and lay on the bed ready to sleep. After midnight, Lin Feng turned over and fell from the sofa to the ground. He let out a muffled cry and started to look around. It was dark all around. He couldn't remember where it was, and it was definitely not his partition room. The moment Lin Feng fell to the ground, Wang Wei woke up in shock. She snickered for a while before turning on the light. "You are still a kung fu person, why do you keep falling on the ground? Who said people who know kung fu can't fall to the ground? I'm drunk, why didn't you send me back to my house and bring me to you, what's your intention?" It seems that Lin Feng has sobered up, and his speech is very clear now. Wang Wei sat up and smiled. "There is no intention, if I send you home, I will take a taxi back from there. It is a waste of money, I am now its a debtor, so I have to save it, lest you always worry that I can't pay Sun Yueling's money. You must take her money back seriously. Okay, you, don't always remind me, be careful that I'm in a hurry with you, I won't owe you a cent." Wang Wei was a little angry. She lay down on the bed again, kicked a few times, her night dress floated upwards, and her long slender legs were exposed. Lin Feng saw Wang Wei's slender legs and delicate snow-white skin, and walked slowly towards the bed. Wang Wei was a little nervous and sat up again. "You kid, sleep on the sofa, don't get on my bed. We slept in the same bed before, when you were the saddest some time ago. That time you wanted to give me your body, but I didn't want it, but this time I really wanted it. But I don't want to give it this time. I reminded you that time. If you don't, you may not be able to give it in the future." "You said nothing," Wang Wei said. "That's exactly what I said last time." Lin Feng didn't mean to deny it, but still climbed onto Wang Wei's bed and looked at her with a smile. "But I think you brought me to your house not only to save money on the car." Wang Wei thought, "I'm not trying to save money on the car, but to get the keys. Now that the keys are all set, can I tell you this? The key that comes with it works wonderfully, but can I tell you that? Otherwise, you will not have to take away the key with the matching key, and then scold me." Lin Feng's hand landed on Wang Wei's full chest through the nightgown, kneaded it lightly twice, and said with a smile, "It feels so good. You kid can't be a hooligan." Lin Feng thought to himself, "Maybe you wanted me to be a hooligan," and Lin Feng immediately pressed Wang Wei. Lin Feng's thing hit Wang Wei's stomach, and Wang Wei screamed and begged, "Don't do this, I really don't want to." Lin Feng was very puzzled. He just put his weight on Wang Wei's body and thought about it. Isn't Wang Wei sick? Since he didn't want to, why did he deliberately get him drunk and then bring him here? Lin Feng's imagination is very rich, but he did not think that Wang Wei brought him here to match his key. "If you don't want to do it, forget it. Our relationship, I can't force you to do it. I don't want you to hate me for a lifetime, but touch the head office, right? Where to touch? Touch everywhere. That won't work. If you really want to, feel free to touch your chest. Don't touch it anywhere else." Wang Wei struggled. Lin Feng hesitated for a moment. He felt that it was good to touch his chest. He immediately lifted Wang Wei's night dress. Wang Wei's chest was exposed in front of Lin Feng, although there were small pants blocking, but Wang Wei was very afraid of Lin Feng see the clues in that part of her or rip off her and do that. "If you are only allowed to touch your chest and move anywhere else, I will be angry. Don't move anywhere else." Lin Feng took off Wang Wei's chest photo and bit at Wang Wei's chest. Wang Wei couldn't help but shout. "It's really annoying. I let you touch it, but I didn't let you chew it." Lin Feng touched and chewed again and again, and gradually, his hand began to move downward, touching Wang Wei's lower abdomen, and then it was her panties. Wang Wei was very nervous, her slender legs were tightly together, and she even covered her with her hands. "You bastard, don't do this, we are college classmates and good friends, please don't." Lin Feng's hand was about to reach into Wang Wei's trousers, but Wang Wei started to cry. In the end, his hand stopped, rolled to the side, and threw Wang Wei's night dress down, and the night dress was covered again. Live in her body. Wang Wei finally breathed a sigh of relief. If Lin Feng had been her just now, she wouldn't know what to do. Lin Feng didn't regret his decision last time, because Wang Wei's state last time made it impossible for him to have with her, otherwise he might feel guilty, but now he really wants to have with her, but she won't let her. Morning. When Wang Wei went out to work, Lin Feng also left. He got on the bus and slowly approached his partition room. Lin Feng didn't know that Wang Wei had already assigned his keys, and he didn't even know what Wang Wei did with those keys. Lin Feng returned to his partition room, suddenly very empty. The feeling of depression it struck him again, making him want to fly out, but yesterday was delayed for a long time, and he must write carefully today. After lying on the bed for more than half an hour, Lin Feng turned on the computer and opened the document, and began to look for inspiration. The effect was not bad. By the time of lunch, he had written almost 3,000 words, lit a cigarette and started smoking. Someone knocked on the door, and when she opened the door, she saw Shang Yunjuan, the beautiful landlord, with a bright smile, looking at him with admiration. The plump hold up the clothes, and the slender legs have beautiful lines. Shang Yunjuan's legs can be described as plump and have a lot of texture. Lin Feng felt that when Shang Yunjuan looked at his face, he would also think of that thing. Shang Yunjuan's imagination could completely reach the state. "Sister Shang, are you here to lower my rent again?" Shang Yunjuan patted Lin Feng's arm with her hand. "You are too good at thinking of good things, so I've reduced it to 500 yuan for you, and if you drop it again, it should be free." "Then it's free." "No, the house isn't mine alone, I'll drop it to 500 for you. Yun Na's opinion is already very big. I'm here to thank you for Yun Na. You took back her love madness from the thief again. Yun Na also said that her crazy love is too worry-free, and she was almost stolen by a thief. Yun Na also said that you beat the thief the bus, which is very majestic. Prestige has a fart. Of course it works, isn't it? I'm here to invite you to dinner, Wuxian roasted whole fish, do you like it?" "Of course I like to eat, and I like to eat all good things." Lin Feng was a little excited. He could save money for lunch, and he could eat Wuxian roasted whole fish. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 43. Shang Yunjuan looked at Lin Feng's face indifferently. Her red lips moved a few times from time to time, as if she wanted to say something, but also seemed to be imagining something. Maybe Shang Yunjuan was imagining his body again at this time. She has always been impulsive, her fantasies have always been intoxicated, but looking at Lin Feng's face at this moment, her fantasies are extremely intoxicated. Shang Yunjuan could even feel the moistness of her body, and the small universe inside her body burst out continuously, making her hot and unpredictable. "Sister Shang, let's go to dinner." "Not in a hurry. I'm hungry." "That's okay, Sister Shang will take you to dinner, I can't starve you, you are a genius." Shang Yunjuan touched Lin Feng's face with a very gentle gesture, obviously teasing. "Since you are a very charming beauty, I will let you tease." "When I touched Lin Feng's face just now, I really felt it." Shang Yunjuan wanted to touch Lin Feng's body even more, not letting go of any detail. Lin Feng quickly thought again that although Shang Yunjuan was praising him, in Shang Yunjuan's heart, he was still a very unpopular person, with a foreign household registration, very little money, and a seemingly trendy person who was not favored by many people. Web writer. When eating Wuxian roasted whole fish together, Lin Feng and Shang Yunjuan chatted a lot. After drinking beer, he talked about his ideals. Shang Yunjuan listened very seriously and did not express his position, but chatted about her and a few others. Interesting things between friends, and things in her graphic production center. Lin Feng went to Shang Yunjuan before printing the contract. She knew that her stall could not make a lot of money. Apart from her, there were only 2 female employees in their 20s. People help, usually do not let these idlers stay in the store. As for the two young female employees, they were all plain looking, and one of them had a decent figure and a big butt. After leaving the hotel, Shang Yunjuan went to her store. Lin Feng began to walk around the nearby streets. He wanted to go to Beijing Normal University, but he was afraid that he would meet Sun Yueling, so he should not go. But even if he didn't go to Beijing Normal University, he might meet Sun Yueling. At this time, Sun Yueling walked over with her husband's arm on his back. Lin Feng, what are you going to do? Just walk around. Oh, this is your husband, he's very handsome. Lin Feng looked at the man who was obviously older than Sun Yueling and praised. The man looked very gentle and liked what Lin Feng said just now. He smiled and shook hands with Lin Feng. You are Yueling's friend, hello. Lin Feng smiled and nodded, thinking, I have a very special relationship with Sun Yueling. I her first, and then you fucked. I got her first daughter body, but I didn't turn her into a black fungus. I just opened the bud for you. After passing by, the man didn't have any doubts. Maybe it was because Lin Feng praised him just now that he was handsome. He chatted with Sun Yueling more enthusiastically, and even walked with more confidence. Just now, Lin Feng left a good impression on Sun Yueling's husband. Lin Feng could see that Sun Yueling really regarded him as a friend, and even didn't mind greeting him in front of her husband. Thinking of Sun Yueling's generosity to help Wang Wei again, she felt that she was a good woman. Lin Feng once again wished Sun Yueling and that man happiness, and grow old together. When Lin Feng returned to his partition room to type on the keyboard, Wang Wei took leave and left the company, and took a taxi to Beijing West Station. Lin Feng's ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian is here, and Wang Wei is here to pick her up. Wang Wei is brewing a conspiracy that even she finds enjoyable. Bingqian, you are still so beautiful, come on, I'll help you carry your bag. Shen Bingqian stood there and didn't move, looking at Wang Wei's face gratefully, with tears streaming down her smile. Xiao Yi, hello, I'm in trouble, you are the most enthusiastic about me. I've lived in a dormitory for so long, needless to say that Wang Wei grabbed the bag in Shen Bingqian's hand and walked forward, while Shen Bingqian followed behind with a trolley. Just now Shen Bingqian wanted to hug Wang Wei very much, but Wang Wei didn't seem to mean that, so the hug was in vain. When I lived in a dormitory before, the sisters would hug each other when they encountered something gratifying. Among them, Wang Wei and Shen Bingqian hugged the most. Wang Wei even attacked Shen Bingqian's chest while hugging, and exclaimed that she was so round and big. That time she was startled, thinking that Wang Wei's orientation had changed. She was more relieved. Shen Bingqian is not the school beauty, but her beauty is no worse than the school beauty. The school beauty was only richer than her and more influential than her. Her beautiful face is very delicate. People who don't know her will find a very special kind of innocence, and people who know her will find a very special kind of selfishness. Judging from the outline of the chest, you can tell that it is bigger than Wang Wei's, and she is taller than Wang Wei, almost 170. She is graceful and full, and she walks elegantly and hot, and has a high rate of turning back. The train station is a densely populated place, and there are already hundreds of pairs of men's eyes looking at the two of them. Greedy fantasy, greedy greed. If there is a handsome guy of the top air youth level walking on the road, women will also like silver. This is a normal human reaction. If you don't like silver, you are not human. Women tend to be more realistic than men. When they close their eyes slightly, they will imagine that something straight and blunt suddenly rushes over. Sitting in the taxi, Shen Bingqian tilted her head and looked at the scenery outside. She found that Beijing was really much bigger than Shenzhen, very prosperous and fast-paced, which made people panic. Beijing has the characteristics of Beijing. Shenzhen has the characteristics of Shenzhen. Beijing is very large and prosperous. It is a city with a rich heritage. It is full of cultural atmosphere. People who are engaged in literature and art like it here, and people who are engaged in economics also like it here. Some people find their dreams here, and some people lose their dreams here. Lin Feng can't be considered to have found his dream in Beijing until now. He just has a career he likes, and he is getting closer to his dream step by step. Why do you remember coming to Beijing? Isn't there an opportunity here? What I need most now is an opportunity. Shen Bingqian then looked at Wang Wei. Wang Wei didn't quite know what opportunity Shen Bingqian wanted when she came to Beijing, whether it was a chance to find a job or an opportunity to catch a golden turtle. Shen Bingqian has both appearance and education. This is her chance to catch a golden turtle son-in-law. In the past, when the sisters were chatting together, they all agreed with the saying that catching a golden tortoise-in-law is better than struggling for 100 years. At that time, Lin Feng and Shen Bingqian hadn't broken up yet, and they were in a passionate relationship. The compulsory homework every day was hugging each other. When we were talking about this, Shen Bingqian immediately thought of Lin Feng, and her brows furrowed. Shen Bingqian looked a little tired, and Wang Wei didn't chat with her too much in the car. When she got home, she giggled, "Bingqian, look, this is my nest, although it is not large, it is comparable to the partition where Lin Feng lives. The room is bigger." Wang Wei felt a little regretful. How could she say that? All she has to do now is to put gold on Lin Feng's face. You have his key? Look, all three are in hand. This one is the access control, this one is the gate, and this one is his partition room. How did you get it? Drunk him. When he fell asleep, I assigned the key, but don't get me wrong, I didn't do anything with him. I believe you. Shen Bingqian was much happier than before. Wang Wei thought, but he still touched my chest and even bit my chest, but can I tell you this? I don't even need to tell you this. The reason why Wang Wei first made up the lie of Lin Feng's monthly salary of more than 80,000 yuan, and then helped Shen Bingqian with Lin Feng's key, just wanted to repay Lin Feng. Even if Shen Bingqian hated her in the future, she would do the same. Although they have broken up, and although Lin Feng has given up on Shen Bingqian is, after all, a dream that Lin Feng once had, a dream that Lin Feng has worked hard for a long time and has not been able to achieve. Lin Feng has no money, but when they dated together, he treated Shen Bingqian very well. Unfortunately, Shen Bingqian was the type of person who likes to cry in a BMW. Zhao Liqiang's supermarket turned into a fireball, and she cried very sadly. But she doesn't want to cry anymore. She has been thinking about Lin Feng, the guy who thought he could only protect food and clothing after graduation, but he turned into a monthly salary of more than 80,000 yuan so quickly, which is amazing. If she knew now that Lin Feng's annual salary was only more than 80,000 yuan, maybe she would quarrel or even fight with Wang Wei. Wang Wei has already given up. Blame her, but she can't care so much anymore. Bingqian, do you want to take a bath? I want to wash it. Go, you can use my body wash and bath towel. I brought it. Shen Bingqian opened the trolley case, took out her changing underwear, pajamas, and bath towel, and took off her clothes in front of Wang Wei. When living in a dormitory, Wang Wei likes to watch Shen Bingqian take off her clothes. Shen Bingqian is a very temperamental person. No matter what she does, every subtle movement is very charming, especially when she takes off her clothes. Wang Wei said before, Bingqian, if one day I become gay, it's all because of you. When that time comes, when you see that I'm hopeless, you must find a macho man. Me, when I feel the power of a macho, it may change back. Shen Bingqian took off her clothes, revealing a large area of her snow-white skin, without even a single tiny dark spot or birthmark. She was simply natural beauty. The chest photo was taken off, the towering chest jumped out, the were pulled off, and the wet outline was exposed. Wang Wei screamed in her heart, Lin Feng, come quickly, Shen Bingqian has taken off, the goddess in your heart once she has taken off, she has taken off. I went to wash. Shen Bingqian smiled at Wang Wei, walked to the bathroom, and quickly bathed in the water. Aside from her personality, Shen Bingqian is indeed a very beautiful beauty. If someone packaged her, she could become a very popular star, but the problem is that she has not met the person who packaged her, and she is still fishing for her son-in-law. On the way, Wang Wei vigorously beautified Lin Feng, a person who can be described with hanging silk, which caused a strong hallucination to Shen Bingqian. Shen Bingqian regarded herself as a person who redeemed her sins and wanted to repent to Lin Feng. Even if Lin Feng asked her to kneel, she also knelt down. Even if Lin Feng whipped her, she recognized it. She would not cry in pain, but she would cry silently. Lin Feng is still typing at this time. If he knows that Shen Bingqian has come, he will be very distressed. Maybe Shen Bingqian will not come to Beijing within a month, maybe she will never come. After leaving Shenzhen, maybe she will go to Shanghai or Guangzhou. Shen Bingqian took a shower and walked out wearing a night dress. Her long rose-red hair was loose and wet behind her. She took an elegant step and walked to the bed to sit down. I want to sleep for a while, but I want to see him right away. Go to sleep first. Do you think Lin Feng will still accept me? Before he was poor, I kicked him, but now he is rich, and I posted it again. Wang Wei thought, in fact, he is also very poor now, with an annual salary of more than 80,000 yuan, and there are still people in second-tier cities. This game is getting bigger and bigger, but Wang Wei is not afraid. She has already played the game that pays 200,000 yuan by playing the warrant. Does she still care about this? In this game, Wang Wei's ultimate goal is to let Lin Feng get Shen Bingqian's body. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 44. Seeing Wang Wei's hesitation, Shen Bingqian smiled relievedly and said, although I have been dating Zhao Liqiang for a while, I have never had that relationship with him. Real or fake? Really, he really thought about it. Once he opened a room after watching a movie, and he had a bed for each person. It was almost 3 in the morning. He climbed onto my bed and I kicked him off. When I had time to take it out, it hit the floor. It was swollen for several days, and blood came out of the bathroom. When he was in the dark, I shared a bedroom with him. He wanted to take a bath with me, but I didn't agree. Did you have a premonition that his big supermarket would catch fire? Wang Wei exclaimed. Shen Bingqian was very embarrassed. She frowned slightly and said, looking at you, I knew you would ridicule me. I just kept holding it back. If you want to ridicule, come here and say all the ugly things you want to attack me. Bingqian, you misunderstood. I didn't ridicule you, I just thought you were too fierce. Have you never loved Zhao Liqiang at all? Speaking of love, I have only loved Lin Feng. After I broke up with Lin Feng, my heart warmed every time I thought of him. I have never loved Zhao Liqiang. When I was with him, I often thought of Lin Feng, and I would think, what will this poor boy be like in the future? I didn't plan to spend time with him at that time, and even thought that I might never meet again in the future, but I just think of him a lot. Shen Bingqian cried again. Wang Wei's heart is very uncomfortable. She knows that what Shen Bingqian said just now is true. In that unbearable college age, Lin Feng did not give Shen Bingqian much material enjoyment, but gave her a lot of romance. Lin Feng protected Shen Bingqian very much. I care about her feelings very much. That wonderful sentiment cannot be erased in a lifetime. Wang Wei once again felt that the consequences of the scene she directed were simply unimaginable, but it had already begun. The wide screen of life had been opened, and both Lin Feng and Shen Bingqian had already appeared. One was in the partition room and the other was crying in front of her. Shen Bingqian's voice was a little hollow, as if it came from a long distance. When do you think it's appropriate for me to meet him? There may be fiery fireworks. Maybe there will be fireworks of hatred. Don't you have the key? You can go over and open the door while he's away, so that you don't have to worry about him not letting you in. Linfeng sometimes listens stubbornly. You know this better than me. It makes sense, Xiao Yi, if Linfeng and I really do, we'll be the first to send you a happy candy, Shen Bingqian said. Wang Wei thought to herself, I'm still happy, don't bomb me to death, I'm even worried that Linfeng will slap me in the face when he is angry. 2 days have passed. Linfeng has a new neighbor, and a couple came to the room that Cao Shuiying moved. Linfeng thought that he could hear a new style of shouting, but what made him strange was that the couple didn't shout. Occasionally, he could hear the creaking sound of the bed, maybe they were doing that. The time lasted for a short time, and then there will be whispers again. Linfeng didn't know the name of the couple, but he found that the man was very gentle, about 172 in height. When he met him, he would always greet him with a smile. At first glance, he looked like an office worker in the company. That woman has a round face, she is not beautiful, but she is also worth looking at. Her are very full, her is not small, and she walks with a graceful temperament. From her appearance, she should be an office worker. Evening. Linfeng saw the man carrying the bag and left, as if he was on a business trip. The woman was cooking in the kitchen alone, and it smelled delicious, but Linfeng felt that the woman's cooking skills would not be better than Cao Shuiying. Linfeng didn't have the heart to take advantage of the meal. Although he had with a few women, he wouldn't make random contact with a woman's husband while he was on a business trip. Linfeng opened the door and walked out. Just as he was going down the stairs, Shang Yunjuan, the beautiful landlord, came up. Linfeng stood relatively high, and Shang Yunjuan's neckline was very loose. Linfeng saw snow-white skin and deep ravines. Very delicate and full. Shang Yunjuan, a woman in her 30s, is really a peach, she can tell it is watery just by looking at it. If you eat it, it must taste great. Hot collision. Splash of water. How wonderful that must be. But whenever Linfeng has the heart to go to Shang Yunjuan, Shang Yuna will appear in her mind and look at him with contempt. Where are you going? It's definitely time for dinner, it's time for dinner, Linfeng said. Wait for me, I'll treat you to dinner. No, I'll eat it myself. Look at you, I have a secret to tell you, Shang Yunjuan said, it's a good thing, just steal me. The beautiful landlord has something good to tell him, why don't you just wait for her, Linfeng said, what are you doing in the rental house? The newly moved couple, I have something to tell them, the woman always forgets when she boils the water, it doesn't matter if the water is dry or the pot is red, it's easy to get into trouble, just wait a while, don't, it will take a long time. Shang Yunjuan walked into the rental room, but Linfeng didn't follow him, but stood at the stairs to smoke. In less than 10 minutes, Shang Yunjuan came out and smiled charmingly at Linfeng, go to my house to eat and make dumplings for you. Making dumplings is actually a very tedious task, but in order to make Linfeng eat well, Shang Yunjuan is not afraid of tediousness at all. As long as you imagine a wonderful scene in your mind, you will feel comfortable no matter what you do. What you need is this kind of hope. When Linfeng and Shang Yunjuan walked out together, Shen Bingqian, who was already standing outside the gate of the community, saw it. Seeing Linfeng's familiar face and familiar figure again, Shen Bingqian even wanted to cry and run over, threw herself into Linfeng's arms, beat him and complained, you bastard, why did you become a monthly salary of 80,000 yuan? The love between the two is playful. Seeing Linfeng getting into the car with that charming woman, Shen Bingqian felt uneasy. Who is this woman? She must be in her 30s, could it be that Linfeng has that kind of relationship with her? This woman has a Bora. Although it is not a high-end car, it can still be classified as a car owner. The key to car owners is to have a character, not the high-end car they own. Only if they have a luxury car of more than 1 million, they are considered car owners. Although there are many wealthy people in Huaxia, the proportion will be very low. She hadn't figured out what was going on, but Shen Bingqian was already a little angry. She didn't stop the Bora, she just stood aside and watched the car drive past. Lin Feng had been talking to Shang Yunjuan just now. He was asking what secret Shang Yunjuan was, and how could he still make me beautiful. Shang Yunjuan didn't say anything, just laughed, so Lin Feng didn't see Shen Bingqian standing on the side of the road. Lin Feng felt that most of Shang Yunjuan was playing tricks, not to tell him any secrets, but to have an intimate contact. Sometimes, men will coax women in order to achieve their goals, and when women reach a certain artistic conception, their IQ will have no lower limit. Sometimes, women will coax men in order to achieve their goals. If she is a charming beauty, she can instantly turn a man's IQ into a negative number. Not only is his mind unclear, but his eyes are dull. Lin Feng is a very rational man, his mind is very clear, and his eyes are very flexible. His rationality does not mean that he is not intoxicated. When that thing of his should grow bigger, it will become a kind of pride for him. Shen Bingqian watched the Bora car disappear, and then walked into the community, took out the key that Wang Wei helped her with to open the door, and quickly opened the door of the rental house after walking in. 2 doors have been opened, the next door it's the door to love. The door of the partition room opened, and Shen Bingqian immediately smelled a strong smell of smoke. She fanned her hand beside her nose, and began to look at this rental room, which could be described as dilapidated. Sitting on the chair, looking at Lin Feng's notebook, with a light smile, he said to himself, "You kid earns more than 80,000 a month, and you are still so frugal. Save it and leave it for us after we get married." Lin Feng's computer didn't have a password. Shen Bingqian turned on the computer and browsed. She didn't open the web page immediately, but started to look at Lin Feng's folder. Shen Bingqian is very proficient in computers, and also has a little understanding of Lin Feng's habit of storing things, and soon found the folder where Lin Feng put small pieces, pursed his lips and smiled, and said to himself, "You kid has made a lot of these kinds of pieces, the more I watch this kind of film, the more impulsive it becomes." Shen Bingqian didn't know that Lin Feng was very lucky after living in this partition room. He had already dated 3 women. Among them, Bai Shan and Sun Yueling were their first daughters when they gave them to him. Made a wonderful impression with the women he did. Lin Feng's previous contracts will be deleted after they are printed and mailed. Shen Bingqian did not see the contents of these contracts, otherwise they would be slapped on the spot, because the contract clearly states how much Lin Feng is worth in thousands of words. According to this level, if he wants to earn more than 80,000 yuan a month, and he can't achieve it even if he doesn't sleep or eat, and spends all his time coding. Shen Bingqian opened Lin Feng's urban life novel file and read it. She seldom read online novels before, but when she read the novels written by Lin Feng, her mood was very different. "Talented, you made up a good story." Lin Feng and Shang Yunjuan went home together, only to find out that Shang Yuna was not at home. He breathed a sigh of relief. If Shang Yuna was there, it would be easy to quarrel. Lin Feng was not in the mood to quarrel with Shang Yuna. "Lin Feng, sit down, I'll make tea." "Have the dumplings been wrapped yet?" "No, I'm fast, you can eat it soon." Shang Yunjuan went to make tea. Lin Feng glanced at Shang Yunjuan's back a few more times, and found that her body was really graceful, especially her buttocks, which were very big and round, and could easily evoke wonderful fantasies of men. Thinking about it, if you take off Shang Yunjuan's panties, you will see her buttocks, round and full. It must feel very good to the touch. Shang Yunjuan brought tea and brought it over. When Lin Feng was drinking tea, she began to roll out the dumpling skins. "Sister Shang, don't you have a secret to tell me? You also said it's a good thing for me." "Secret, I'll tell you after eating dumplings." Shang Yunjuan smiled charmingly. Lin Feng said in his heart, "The beautiful landlord, Your charm at this time made me a little panic. I felt that you didn't have any secrets to tell me at all. You asked me to come here, probably because you wanted me to have an affair with you. Lin Feng didn't intend to leave immediately. He began to think about how he should respond if Shang Yunjuan made such a request after eating dumplings. After the quarrel not long ago, Lin Feng's thoughts about Shang Yuna basically disappeared. He already felt that he had nothing to do with Shang Yuna, and Shang Yunjuan would not agree to his sister's relationship with him. No matter how he thought about it, it was impossible for him to be with Shang Yuna, and Lin Feng would not spend too much time on this kind of thing that would hardly lead to any results, because he learned a lesson from his interactions with Shen Bingqian. Since that's the case, you don't need to care too much about Shang Yuna's opinion. Although I'm not your type, your sister really wants me to her. If I really your sister, I don't know how you would feel. Maybe Shang Yuna will ask Shang Yunjuan, sister, are you comfortable with Lin Feng playing with you? When that time comes, Shang Yunjuan will definitely be shy and her face will be very red, but she may say, it's comfortable, it's very comfortable. That thing from Lin Feng is very big and powerful. I've been lonely for so many years, how can I do it, not feeling well? Shang Yunjuan's hands were really fast. She squeezed a total of 60 dumplings, prepared 40 for Lin Feng and 20 for herself. Shang Yunjuan went to make dumplings, and Lin Feng was playing with the TV with the remote control. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 45. Shen Bingqian had been waiting in the partition room, and she felt boring after watching male and female action movies for 10 minutes. Shen Bingqian also thinks of wet things from time to time, especially when she was in love with Lin Feng. Twice she was so impulsive that she almost gave it to Lin Feng, but in the end, her rationality overcame that impulse. When she was Zhao Liqiang's girlfriend, Shen Bingqian was not so impulsive, because she didn't love Zhao Liqiang. She thought every day that Zhao Liqiang must not get her body before getting the certificate. The result was that Zhao Liqiang's big supermarket became a fireball when he was about to get the certificate, and the former multimillionaire boss instantly became a prisoner. Only the ghost knew when he would be released. I don't know when Lin Feng will come back. He won't stay overnight at that woman's house. Thinking that Lin Feng might not come back all night, Shen Bingqian is a little annoyed. She is a very jealous woman. In the past when we were dating in college, when Lin Feng admired the beauty of the beauties on the road, Shen Bingqian would always touch him with his shoulders, or kick him with his legs, and then asked him what he was looking at. Now, is she as beautiful as me? Is her figure better than mine? Lin Feng would always smile at that time, and would not continue to watch without saying anything, but he would think that you are very beautiful and your figure is very good, but different women have different tastes, and I can't help but look at them a few times. Nothing. Lin Feng likes touching Shen Bingqian's chest very much, and also likes pinching her through her pants. Whenever Lin Feng pinches her ass, Shen Bingqian will always kick him angrily, and then say, I screwed me to death, that's me. What about your butt, don't you feel bad? Lin Feng even wanted to push Shen Bingqian onto the bed to do that, but Shen Bingqian wouldn't let him do it. When Shen Bingqian was dating the rich Zhao Liqiang, he never let him touch that part. There were times when Zhao Liqiang was so depressed that he could only hide in the bathroom or on the bed by himself. Shen Bingqian told Zhao Liqiang several times that if you really love me, then wait for the certificate to be there. Zhao Liqiang was very worried about this. He said, what if you happen to have your period the day after you got the certificate? Shen Bingqian said, you're stupid, I can take measures to postpone or advance my period, and I can definitely guarantee that I won't have my period at that time, which will make you feel good. What made Zhao Liqiang distressed was that just 3 days before he and Shen Bingqian were going to get the certificate, his big supermarket caught fire. The fire destroyed his property and burned Shen Bingqian away. He finally didn't get it. Cheng Shen Bingqian. When the dumplings were ready, Shang Yunjuan prepared 2 cold dishes and a bottle of white wine, and ate and drank with Lin Feng. After clinking glasses, Lin Feng took a sip of white wine and said with a smile, "Sister Shang, what's the secret, please tell me quickly." Shang Yunjuan still didn't want to say anything, just smiled charmingly, gave Lin Feng a mouthful of cold vegetables, and put a few dumplings in his bowl. "Is it delicious? It tastes good. Then you eat more, you must eat 40, I eat 20, and we both finish the dumplings," Shang Yunjuan said. "Then when Sister Yun Na comes back, there will be no more dumplings. She's eating outside." Someone invited him. "Oh, forget it, I still won't ask." Lin Feng felt that it didn't matter whether Shang Yuna paid to eat outside or someone invited her, it didn't matter what happened to him. "Although your relationship with Yun Na is deadlocked, but you took back her phone from the thief for the second time, which still moved her. She thinks you are very good at fighting. Being able to beat me has no other use than self-defense. I never thought of being a bodyguard for the rich, nor did I want to make a living by beating people," Lin Feng said. "It seems that your kid really loves writing online novels. I like it very much, not a normal one." Lin Feng said in his heart, "Although I have just entered the ranks not long ago, I earn a lot more than ordinary office workers, and I am very frugal and can save some money. Sister Shang believes that you will become more and more successful and richer." Shang Yunjuan smiled and said, "Come on, let's meet another one." After clinking glasses again, Lin Feng suddenly thought of Shen Bingqian. She didn't know when she would come to Beijing. It was best not to come, but she was destined to come. Wang Wei told that big lie to put gold on his face. He is very happy with that lie now, but he always feels that something is going to happen. Seeing that Lin Feng was distracted, Shang Yunjuan said, "You kid, hurry up and eat, you just said it was delicious." "It's delicious." Lin Feng picked up a dumpling, swallowed it in one bite, and smiled at Shang Yunjuan. Shang Yunjuan's body was already very wet. She even wanted Lin Feng to touch her while eating dumplings. It is estimated that Lin Feng would not agree, so let's eat dumplings first. Shang Yunjuan found that Lin Feng was drinking more and more fiercely. She secretly rejoiced. This is a good thing. If Lin Feng is drunk, she will pull him onto the bed, then take off his clothes and ride on top of him. Such a good opportunity cannot be easily missed. She wants to end the loneliness in a sharp way. There are a lot of bird feathers, very few banknotes, day and night retreat, and immortality. Lin Feng actually started doing limericks under the wine. Shang Yunjuan thinks this limerick is a bit funny, and also thinks that 65-degree liquor is powerful. Lin Feng is almost drunk. "Hurry up and pull you to bed, I can't take it anymore." "Lin Feng, I'll pour you a drink." "Fall down, come down quickly." Shang Yunjuan filled Lin Feng again, and Lin Feng took another sip and killed it. The scene in front of him became even more blurred. He seemed to see Shang Yunjuan shaking and dancing. In fact, Shang Yunjuan didn't dance, she was just eating dumplings and vegetables. This bottle of liquor, Lin Feng drank about 8 taels, Shang Yunjuan drank 2 taels at best, and Lin Feng was drunk again. In the past few days, he has been drunk twice in a row, and I don't know if it was Shen Bingqian's accident stimulated him. The first time he got drunk and asked Wang Wei to assign him his key, he didn't know yet, and he didn't even know that Shen Bingqian had already come and ran to his partition room. Tonight's drunkenness made him lose his temper in front of Shang Yunjuan, and even came out with limericks, which also allowed Shang Yunjuan to see a great opportunity. Shang Yunjuan hugged Lin Feng and said with a smile, "If you drink too much, I will help you to rest." "No, I'm going back." "Don't leave first, come to my room, I have a secret to tell you," Shang Yunjuan said. "Come on, after you finish, I'll go." Lin Feng was very reluctant, and was supported by Shang Yunjuan to her bedroom. Shang Yunjuan directly helped Lin Feng to the side of the bed, pushed him onto the bed and rode on him. Lin Feng felt something round and soft sitting on top of him. Oh, it was Shang Yunjuan sitting on his body. On. Shang Yunjuan began to take off Lin Feng's clothes. Although the two fiery bodies were not connected, her breathing was already rapid, like a dissatisfied female cat. Lin Feng pushed Shang Yunjuan aside, and he actually sat up. Sister Shang, how can you be a hooligan to me, what are you doing by taking off my clothes? Shang Yunjuan was very distressed. Why did Lin Feng sit up? She trembled. Didn't I tell you a secret? You don't have to take off my clothes when you tell me the secret. It's like, that actor doesn't have to take off his pants. But it's hard for an actor to get the chance to audition without taking off his pants. Come on, Sister Shang will make you comfortable. Shang Yunjuan hugged Lin Feng and kissed him on the neck. Lin Feng pushed her away again, this time with great force. Shang Yunjuan rolled onto the bed, and screamed. Sister Shang, don't do this, I haven't thought about it yet. Then when will you be able to think about it? Maybe soon, maybe a long time, I really have to go. Lin Feng got out of bed and walked out shaking. Shang Yunjuan's desire was already burning. Seeing that Lin Feng insisted on leaving, her tears splashed out. Her life was really hard. Okay, I'll drive you. Shang Yunjuan didn't want to let Lin Feng stagger away alone. There were many cars on the road. She didn't want anything to happen to Lin Feng. Even if Lin Feng never agreed with her, she didn't want Lin Feng to have an accident. Shang Yunjuan drove Lin Feng to the community, and then helped Lin Feng to the door, saw him open the door and walked in, and then left. Shen Bingqian had already turned off Lin Feng's computer and lay on the bed. The lights were not turned on. Hearing the sound outside, Shen Bingqian had a premonition that Lin Feng had returned, and her heart was beating wildly. Lin Feng, you kid, I thought you were going to spend the night with that woman who drives Bora. Bora is not a good car, and that woman probably doesn't have much money. Lin Feng opened the door, turned on the light, and walked over shaking. He was stunned, and there was a person lying on the bed. Shen Bingqian turned her back to Lin Feng and was lying on the bed. Lin Feng didn't see who it was. Shen Bingqian's figure was very similar to the Cao Shuiying that Lin Feng had been on before the drunk. Lin Feng was very wise. Fuzzy, he would not have thought that Shen Bingqian had come to Beijing, and he would have never thought that the person on his bed was Shen Bingqian. Shuiying, didn't you move back? Did you move back to the dormitory? Why are you here again? Do you know that I am very, and miss that tonight, so you're here. Lin Feng immediately rushed towards Shen Bingqian on the bed, pressed her down and kissed her. Lin Feng. Shen Bingqian shouted, but Lin Feng still thought that he was holding down Cao Shuiying. Shuiying, your figure is so good, your skin is so tender, I like yours. Lin Feng started to tear Shen Bingqian's clothes. Shen Bingqian wanted to slap Lin Feng and wake him up. After thinking about it, let it go. If Lin Feng wakes up, it will really come to a moment when she can't face it. Who is Cao Shuiying in Lin Feng's mouth? It seems that Lin Feng is very handsome. He must have had that kind of relationship with Cao Shuiying. Now it seems that it is not the time to be jealous. After she broke up with Lin Feng, she has been with Zhao Liqiang for a long time. She is no longer Lin Feng's girlfriend. Shen Bingqian simply climbed onto the bed, not wanting Lin Feng to see her face clearly. If that kind of relationship really happened, it would be easier to talk about other things. Lin Feng tore off Shen Bingqian's clothes and took off her chest photo. She wanted to throw it on the chair, but the chest photo fell to the ground. Lin Feng tore off Shen Bingqian's again, stroked her raised buttocks for a moment, and then touched her wet spots. When Lin Feng touched her wet patch, Shen Bingqian suddenly trembled. Her body was already very sensitive. Lin Feng touched her there, which irritated her. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 46. Shen Bingqian was a little distressed and a little relieved, and said in her heart, Lin Feng, you boy, when we were in love, you missed me very much, but I never let you on, and now you have to succeed. Oh it hurts. Woo woo woo. Lin Feng just crawled on Shen Bingqian's back and rushed into her body in a posture of fighting a tiger across the mountain. Shen Bingqian had never done it with Lin Feng or Zhao Liqiang before. She was still a first-time daughter, and Lin Feng rushed into her body so violently, it's no wonder she didn't feel pain. Lin Feng's thing is very big, even if he is a woman who has experienced strong winds and waves, if he exerts a lot of force, that woman will hurt, not to mention Shen Bingqian's first daughter. Lin Feng exerted a lot of force, and the amplitude was very large. Shen Bingqian's slender and graceful body was rippling violently in pain, and she kept complaining in her heart. Lin Feng, you kid, this is the first time for me. When Lin Feng was almost 20 minutes into it, Shen Bingqian was already crying in pain. Lin Feng wanted to change his position, pulled Shen Bingqian's body over, kissed her red lips, and rushed into her body again. Shen Bingqian's red lips twisted, the pain was too much to say. Lin Feng kissed Shen Bingqian's red lips and continued to exert force. Gradually, he saw clearly that the woman under him was not Cao Shuiying, but his ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian. Shuiying, let me tell you a secret. I had hallucinations after drinking alcohol. Now it looks like you are my ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian. Lin Feng, who is Shuiying? Shuiying is you. I'm Shen Bingqian. Rely on me. Why did you come to my bed? How did you come to my partition room? How did you come to Beijing? Lin Feng immediately broke away from Shen Bingqian's body and bounced away. The strong shock completely woke him up. It turns out that the woman he dated for a long time just now was not Cao Shuiying, but his ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian. Since it started, let's continue. You haven't had enough fun just now, finish it first, and then talk, Shen Bingqian said, but you need to be gentle, look at the blood on the sheets, before you rush. Before entering my body, I was still a first girl, if you hadn't used too much force, even if you bleed so much, it wouldn't have flowed so much. Lin Feng saw the blood on the sheets. There was a lot of blood, more blood than Bai Shan and Sun Yueling bleed together. Maybe he really hurt Shen Bingqian. Lin Feng didn't have the mood to continue doing it, his hands were madly scratching at his hair, and his head was lowered. It was the time to test Shen Bingqian. What should I do? Shen Bingqian used her hand after thinking for a moment, and then used her mouth again, until Lin Feng erupted. Lying on the very messy bed together, Shen Bingqian hugged Lin Feng and smiled charmingly. I know, I'm here, you are surprised. When did you come to Beijing? It's just been a few days. Where did you get the key, and how did you get in? Lin Feng wondered. Shen Bingqian didn't have to hide it, she told Wang Wei's help with the keys. Lin Feng was immediately angry, and his eyes lit up with fire. This Wang Wei is too courageous, isn't this nonsense? Lin Feng was very helpless. He didn't want to have anything to do with Shen Bingqian. Even if Wang Wei lied and said that his monthly salary was more than 80,000 yuan, it should be enough to stimulate Shen Bingqian. He didn't want to let Shen Bingqian be his girlfriend at all. Even if he fell on her while drunk just now, he doesn't want her to be his girlfriend anymore. Bingqian, there is a question that needs to be made clear. Although we were with each other just now, I didn't see it clearly at all. I thought it was the girl I had a relationship with before. It's that Cao Shuiying. Who is she? You don't need to tell you who she is. Well, if you don't want to tell me, I won't ask. Anyway, you and her happened before, and now I'm back. What if you're back? I don't care why you came to Beijing. It's impossible for us both. If you want to be friends, then be an ordinary friend. If you don't want to, forget it. Beijing is very big. You pass yours, I pass mine, Linfeng said. Shen Bingqian thought that what Linfeng said was angry, and smiled relievedly. I know that I kicked you and made you sad, but can't you give me a chance to atone for my sins? What I really love is you, not Zhao Liqiang. Don't say love to me, and don't say Zhao Liqiang to me. We have nothing to do with each other anymore. You should leave quickly. You just got on me. That's what you deserve. I didn't let you climb on my bed, get out of here. Linfeng said. Shen Bingqian's face was pale. Linfeng had never been so angry with her before. Even when she broke up in college, she sneered at Linfeng for a long time, but Linfeng never had such a big temper. Shen Bingqian's breathing became more and more uneven, she was extremely passive, and she absolutely couldn't walk away easily, otherwise it would be really boring. Shen Bingqian still didn't have any clothes on her body, her first daughter Hong was on the sheets. She knelt in front of Linfeng. Please, forgive me, this time when I come back to you, I won't leave, I will marry you, I will give birth to a child for you. Linfeng sneered, are you still married to me? Give me a baby? If you know now that my monthly salary is not more than 80,000 yuan, but my annual salary is more than 80,000 yuan, you will make a mad riot with me, then fly out, and then make a mad riot with Wang Wei. This moment will come sooner or later, but Linfeng doesn't want this moment to come too soon, because he hasn't figured out how to end it. I'm afraid Wang Wei, the girl who caused trouble, has no idea how to end it. Before Linfeng lifted his pants, Shen Bingqian glanced at Linfeng's thing again. Although it had erupted, it was still so big, Shen Bingqian thought, it was quite impressive. Shen Bingqian has never met Zhao Liqiang, nor has she seen Zhao Liqiang's thing, but she once checked the average size of men's things from different countries on the internet. Just by looking at it, you can tell that Linfeng's thing is bigger than most men. Just now, Linfeng's thing hurt her to the extreme. It's still hurting now. It must have hurt him. Linfeng, do you know why I didn't date him when I was dating Zhao Liqiang? Because you are a girl who is very good at protecting yourself. Any thoughts you have and anything you do are centered on yourself. You are afraid of being hurt, so you don't do it with him. No, it's not because of this, it's because, when I was with him, I always thought of you, and I always felt that I gave him my body. I'm sorry for you, Shen Bingqian said. Hurry up and stop the bullshit. Do you think it's funny to play this kind of joke on me? I've made it very clear, even if I just did that to you, I won't be with you anymore. Let's go, it's not too late, it's easy to get a taxi outside the community. Please, don't be so cruel, I used to be your girlfriend after all, don't drive me away. Shen Bingqian burst into tears. Shen Bingqian also cried when he was in love in college before, but he never shed so many tears. Although Linfeng didn't plan to continue to make Shen Bingqian his girlfriend, he felt very uncomfortable. You don't have to go now, but when it's dawn, you have to go. Okay, I'll leave when it's dawn. Shen Bingqian lay on the bed and didn't put on her trousers. What she thought was, if Linfeng still thinks about that, then continue to do it, even if it hurts. But Linfeng had already put on his trousers, so he obviously didn't want to continue doing it with Shen Bingqian. Linfeng knew very well that every time he got Shen Bingqian, he would have more trouble. Linfeng and Shen Bingqian finally quieted down. After more than 10 minutes, Shen Bingqian hugged him, and Linfeng quickly threw Shen Bingqian's hand aside. Shen Bingqian smiled, it seems that I really you off. I never thought that you have such a big temper. I think, since you're here in Beijing, let's just be ordinary friends. We've been in love for almost 2 years before, which has proved that we're not suitable. It used to be before, and now is now. I haven't changed at all now, and my personality hasn't changed at all, Lin Feng said. You are more capable and attractive than before. I know, you think I'm selfish, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You know, my mother died early, when I was in junior high school. My mother died, but do you know how my mother died? If my father was a rich man, even if he had a little money, he could afford my mother the medicine to relieve diabetes for many years. My mother would not die so early. A lot people with diabetes can live a long life. I showed you a picture of my mother before. You said at the time, your mother is so beautiful. My mother is a very beautiful woman with a good figure, but she has never worn good clothes. When the seasons change, either just buy cheap clothes or don't buy old clothes from previous years. My mother told me before her death that she must find a rich man in the future. Walking away with tears, do you know what it's like for a woman to cry at the last moment of her death? She's gone, but the tears on her face are still there. Lin Feng only knew that Shen Bingqian's mother, the beautiful woman who surprised him, died of complications from diabetes. Before her death, her eyesight had deteriorated so badly that she could hardly see anything, but she did not know that Shen Bingqian's family background at that time. I was so poor that it was a problem to buy medicines to relieve diabetes, and I didn't know that Shen Bingqian's mother died in tears. The reason why that woman was crying a second before her death was precisely because she still wanted to continue to live in love, but she was unwilling to leave like this. At the same time, her tears also contained complaints about this man in this life. Lin Feng gradually understood Shen Bingqian a little bit. He found that he was not Shen Bingqian's dish. It was Wang Wei's lie that created a wonderful dream for Shen Bingqian. In fact, he is still very poor now, with an annual salary of over 80,000 yuan. High consumption city, very mediocre. I don't want to be a poor man. I know that my ability is limited, and I have no capital to start a company. Even if I do open a company, I will lose money if I have no connections and no business. Body, I want to find a rich husband and live a decent life. At that time, when I burned paper money for my mother, some people said that she saw me put on designer clothes, got in a luxury car, lived in. She will be very happy when she gets to the big house. Shen Bingqian paused for a moment and said, Lin Feng, do you believe that people have souls? I believe. When I live in a mansion or a villa, I will invite my mother's soul over and let her live in a good house too. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 47. Lin Feng was silent. He didn't know what to say. It seemed that he had been in love for so long before, and he didn't know enough about Shen Bingqian. Think she is a selfish woman. I didn't say this to you or anyone before, because I wanted to save some face for my dad, but my dad never remarried, because he only had my mother in his heart, and when he smoked alone they would babble and mention my mother's name. Bingqian, I think you will have a very rich husband in the future. I believe in your ability, you can fulfill my dream. Shen Bingqian hugged Lin Feng again. She is very emotional. This time, Lin Feng didn't throw her hand away. Although he still didn't plan to let Shen Bingqian continue to be his girlfriend, he couldn't bear to throw her hand away. Maybe I don't have that ability at all. Maybe I won't be able to buy a house in Beijing after many years, but it's easy to buy a car. Most people can afford a car of 100,000 yuan, but I don't want to be vain. Lin Feng, you are too modest. I believe you will be able to drive a BMW within 2 years. It's possible that a BMW of an unknown origin could be driven, but the traffic police will catch it, which is very troublesome, Lin Feng said. Shen Bingqian smiled. She thought Lin Feng was teasing her. Shen Bingqian asked Lin Feng why he remembered to write online novels, and Lin Feng explained the reasons he had explained to many people before. Shen Bingqian even thought that Lin Feng was a person with ideas and had a limitless future. Now he has a monthly salary. It is more than 80,000 yuan. After a year or a few years, I am afraid that the monthly salary will be hundreds of thousands or even millions. If Lin Feng can earn millions or tens of millions a year, he will definitely be able to live a very rich life with him. Her mother in heaven saw her living in a big house, driving a luxury car, wearing designer clothes, carrying famous brand bag, sure will be delighted. Should I tell Shen Bingqian the truth now? Before tonight, Lin Feng was nervous. Now, he is even more nervous. He actually gave Shen Bingqian. Now that I think about it, when he rushed into Shen Bingqian's body, it was very different than when he rushed into Cao Shuiying's body. Shen Bingqian's body is very tight, the warm wrapping is very ecstasy, when he moves, the soft and moist stimulation is very comfortable. He did get Shen Bingqian's first daughter, but he didn't get it when he was in love, and got it long after the breakup. Lin Feng, if you still want to do it, then come on, I'm not afraid of pain. Don't do it. You still don't want me. In no mood. You are too cruel, Shen Bingqian said. It seems that the bad impression I left on you is difficult to change. It's hard to change. You will soon find out that there are many rich people in Beijing, and there are many people who are more suitable for you than me. I also wish you to find happiness in Beijing, Lin Feng said. You are my happiness. I'm not. You are. Shen Bingqian was still naked, she pressed on Lin Feng's body and kissed Lin Feng's mouth. Your button hit me, take off your clothes. Lin Feng's thing has always been tall and straight. As long as it rushes into Shen Bingqian's body, he will experience the ecstasy again, but he doesn't want to do that. You calm down. Oh, okay. Shen Bingqian rolled again, not wanting to give Lin Feng the impression of being too silvery. She was not a silvery person at all. Even if she was very selfish when she was in love, she didn't have any irrelevant people. Messed up. It's daybreak. Lin Feng and Shen Bingqian never slept. When Shen Bingqian saw the sunlight coming in, she panicked, for fear that Lin Feng would really drive her away. Take me breakfast, and then I'll help you clean up the room. My stomach hurts a bit. I need to go to the bathroom first, Lin Feng said. Go quickly. Lin Feng got to the bathroom, squatted on the toilet, and called Wang Wei. Wang Wei was eating breakfast at a small restaurant by the road. When she saw that it was Lin Feng, she pursed her lips and smiled, thinking, it seems that you have already put your arms around Shen Bing. Qian slept all night, but she didn't succeed in college, but she must have succeeded now. Comfortable. What the is it comfortable? Xiao Yi, you are too much. You even gave me my key when I was drunk. Do you think I am a friend? You are in trouble. I will try my best to help you, but how can you retaliate with kindness? You pushed me into the fire pit, you know. Of all the partitioned rooms in this house, only the master bedroom and the bathroom are the most soundproofed. The monthly rent for the master bedroom is 1,500. Lin Feng has not thought about renting the master bedroom yet. Calling Wang Wei in the bathroom, as long as he is not shouting and talking, even if Shen Bingqian stands outside the door, he will not hear what he said, not to mention, in Shen Bingqian's style, she is unlikely to stand outside the bathroom and eavesdrop, so as not to be seen as a loss of face. Lin Feng, look at you, what are you doing so excited? You have helped me so much, I don't know how to thank you. I wanted to buy you some precious gifts at first, but what I lack most now is money. I don't want to spend a lot of money. I thought later, why don't I give you Shen Bingqian's body? You see, I repaid you. It's up to you. I'll go, don't think about me, I gave it to you that time, you didn't go, and you won't have a chance in the future. Xiao Yi, do you know? Bingqian told me something that I didn't know before, and I'm afraid you don't know either. What? Wang Wei was very curious. She felt that after living in a dormitory for 4 years, she already knew Shen Bingqian very well. Lin Feng told Shen Bingqian's mother's tragic experience, and Wang Wei was stunned. She didn't know this before. If Shen Bingqian's mother was not so miserable, It wasn't because she couldn't afford medicine that she died of complications from diabetes. I'm still crying. I'm afraid Shen Bingqian will not be so selfish and want to find a rich husband so much. Bingqian is really pitiful. I didn't think she was pitiful before, but now I also think she is pitiful. Her mother is even more pitiful, and, I don't know what to say. I gave Bingqian to that. Wang Wei laughed. She said she was still a first girl, didn't she? Yes. Are you comfortable? How long did it last? If I could see clearly that it was her, I would definitely not have with her. I was drunk at the time and regarded her as. Lin Feng could only tell the truth, but Wang Wei was instantly shocked. I didn't expect this kid Lin Feng to be so blessed after living in the partition room. There was actually a beautiful college student who was willing to be with him, and he did that many times. What should I do now? Wang Wei said. Don't ask me, you caused this matter. If you ask me, who should I ask? I used to think that it doesn't matter what kind of injury Shen Bingqian looks like, but I don't think so anymore. I think it's better to do what will do the least damage to her. Lin Feng, I believe you must have the ability to deal with it. Yes, I'm going to be very busy recently. Don't keep calling me, the car is coming. Bye. Wang Wei hung up the phone and covered her phone, careful that her liver was thumping violently. Your sister. You believe that I have this ability, but I don't even believe that I have this ability. Walking out of the bathroom, Lin Feng's face was ugly, as if he had pulled too much just now and lost all nutrients. Walking into the partition room, he saw that Shen Bingqian was looking in the mirror. Her eyes were a little red, and she cried out last night. It was estimated that her wet part was still hurting, and she was too hard when she touched her last night. I folded the sheet, and there is my first daughter Hong, please save it. Oh, Lin Feng said. Your face is ugly, what's wrong? Too much, Lin Feng said. Shen Bingqian was stunned. I used to hear people say that he ate too much, but Lin Feng said he pulled too much. Make me happy. Just take it as it is, and I'll take you to breakfast. Okay. Shen Bingqian was a little happier, and went out with Lin Feng. She wanted to hold Lin Feng's arm, but Lin Feng ducked, but Shen Bingqian didn't hold his arm hard, and smiled. I will treat you very well, I will pay you back what I owe you before. Lin Feng was speechless. Now that Wang Wei kicked this burden to him, he didn't know how to shake it out. Let Shen Bingqian leave, but also cause the least damage to her, which is much more difficult than when he conceived the plot of the novel. Bean curd xiaolong steamed bun tea egg. After Lin Feng and Shen Bingqian had breakfast, they walked on the nearby road, and then returned to the partition room. You can code it, I'll clean up the house for you. Lin Feng didn't want to write the manuscript at first, but when Shen Bingqian said that, he could only write the manuscript daringly. Lin Feng opened the document and had no idea for a long time. After 10 minutes, he started typing on the keyboard. Hearing the crisp sound of the green axis mechanical keyboard, Shen Bingqian was very excited, because Lin Feng was creating wealth. He also twisted, and sang a song in his mouth. I love you, how clear, what a firm belief, how warm, how courageous I love you, no matter how hurt my heart is, no matter how panicked my love is, no matter what others think, love is a kind of faith, bring you. Lin Feng, you are crying. No, maybe it's because I didn't sleep well last night, my eyes hurt a little. Lin Feng's tears still flowed out. When she was in love before, Shen Bingqian liked to hug Lin Feng's neck very much. She thought she would twist his waist when she was hugging him. When Shen Bingqian twisted Lin Feng, she was always willing to use force. In the past, Lin Feng was lying on the bed in the dormitory and thought that if he moved when he was with Shen Bingqian would screw him. At this time, Shen Bingqian put her arms around Lin Feng's neck again, kissed his face, twisted his waist again, and smiled. Don't cry, let the unpleasantness of the past pass away, I am yours. Lin Feng thought to himself, you won't be mine, definitely won't be, even I don't know when I will be successful, maybe 10 years from now, I won't be able to reach the monthly salary of 80,000 yuan. At that time, we were all running 4 people. No matter how excited Shen Bingqian was at this time, Lin Feng knew very well that it was impossible for him and Shen Bingqian to really get together. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 48. Lin Feng continued typing, and the speed was so slow that he didn't even believe it himself. Sometimes, a word would be typed incorrectly 3 times in a row. Shen Bingqian kept Lin Feng's room clean, much like a room with a woman. Shen Bingqian sat next to Lin Feng and said with a smile, "Dear, look, the room is much more comfortable when it's clean. Have you ever thought about renting an independent one? One house is very expensive, at least 2,500 or more. I want to save more money," Lin Feng said. Shen Bingqian thought, you can earn more than 80,000 yuan a month, and you can spend 20,000 yuan for living expenses. You can't slow yourself down when saving money. It makes sense to have fun when life is short. If it was still from the previous relationship, Shen Bingqian would not hesitate to say everything she thought of, but in the current situation, she would not say it. Lin Feng's manuscript fee has now become 30 per 1,000 words, and he can get more than 7,000 yuan a month after tax. He simply does not have the strength to spend 20,000 yuan a month for living expenses. It was almost lunchtime. When Lin Feng was going to take Shen Bingqian out to eat, someone knocked on the door. No matter who knocked on the door at this time, Lin Feng would be depressed. When he opened the door and saw Cao Shuiying, Lin Feng was stunned, and Shen Bingqian was also stunned. Living. Of course, Cao Shuiying was also stunned. She didn't expect that there was a girl beside Lin Feng who was so beautiful that she was surprised. Oh! This girl's figure seems to be very similar to hers. At the same time, Shen Bingqian also discovered that the girl in front of her has a height and figure very similar to hers. I'm afraid this is Cao Shuiying. Last night, Lin Feng took her as Cao Shuiying. But Shen Bingqian still pretended not to know Cao Shuiying, and said angrily, "Who are you?" "Oh, I'm a reader of Lin Feng. I like reading his novels very much. I'm here to urge updates." "When will they be updated?" "The number of updates is a little too small now," Cao Shuiying laughed. Shen Bingqian thought to herself, "You are too loyal as a reader, and you all got on the author's bed, go away." Lin Feng said that she will add more tomorrow. "I'm leaving." Cao Shuiying felt that this beautiful girl was mostly Lin Feng's girlfriend. "Good you, Lin Feng, you don't even admit to having such a beautiful girlfriend, are you afraid that I won't let you go?" Cao Shuiying slipped away and kept shouting in her heart, "Lin Feng, how are you? Lin Feng, how are you? She is Cao Shuiying, right? How many times have you her? I haven't counted. Are you cool? Oh, that's what happened to you in the past. I don't seem to have any reason to blame you, but I want to tell you that you are not allowed to date her in the future. If you want to communicate with her, just go online and don't meet her," Shen Bingqian said. "We are just ordinary friends, you don't seem to be qualified to take care of my private affairs," Lin Feng said. Shen Bingqian was very angry and embarrassed, but she quickly laughed, "I'm so temperamental, I didn't realize it before. Okay, it's up to you. Who told me to kick you before?" Lin Feng thought, "Although I know your mother's pain, although I understand your state of mind better, but I still don't plan to let you be my girlfriend. You will plan for yourself, I think more find a girl who understands tolerance and appreciates me as a girlfriend. If you get married, you need to find a woman who is most likely to come to an end." Lin Feng was thinking hard about how to tell Shen Bingqian the truth. He took a box of Panda cigarettes that Bai Shan had given him, and planned to take Shen Bingqian to dinner. "You can do it, Boy. You've already smoked Panda cigarettes. I know that this kind of cigarette costs thousands of dollars. If you buy it in small parts, it will cost more than 100 yuan per box. Shen Bingqian thought to herself, being rich is different, but if you are willing to smoke such good cigarettes, why would you be reluctant to rent an independent one-bedroom apartment? Smoke is just like that. Whether it's a good cigarette or a bad cigarette, it's just a casual smoke. Lin Feng smiled. Let's go to dinner. Lin Feng walked out with Shen Bingqian. Even if he didn't plan to continue to let Shen Bingqian be his girlfriend, he couldn't invite her to dinner, even if he was an ordinary friend. Since he went to dinner with him, he should invite her to eat something decent of. I remember that you also like spicy food. Yeah, we used to eat Sichuan cuisine together when we were in college. Shen Bingqian smiled and said, do you remember the Sichuan restaurant at the back door of the school? We often go there to eat, and you will always be with me every time we eat. We talked a lot and had a lot of fun. I still remember that there were 2 times we both had a fight in the box of that hotel, one of which was that you wanted me to give you a gold bracelet on Valentine's Day. I only agreed to give you a silver one, and once you want Lancome Cosmetics, Lin Feng said. Shen Bingqian was very embarrassed and sighed softly. It seems that you have forgotten all the happiness in the past, only the unpleasantness. It may be that unpleasant things are more likely to impress people. Lin Feng thought to himself, I took you as Cao Shuiying, and I beat you hard, hurt you, and caused you to bleed so much, it will definitely leave an indelible impression on you. Maybe when you marry a man and become a mother, you won't forget my rudeness to you. Lin Feng, give me another chance, I will treat you very well in the future, I will let you experience my tenderness and my love for you, Shen Bingqian said. Lin Feng just smiled and thought, hurry up and forget about love. Now I get goosebumps when I hear this word. Love has a reason. You are more suitable to be with the rich, they like you beauty, you like their bank notes, and I am not your food, and you are not mine. If it wasn't for Wang Wei's mischief, even if you came to Beijing, you can just be an ordinary friend with me, don't pull it down, I certainly will not deceive you. Lin Feng took Shen Bingqian to the nearby Mala Fragrant Pot restaurant. The area is not small, almost 200 square meters. It is a restaurant with relatively high consumption in the vicinity. Even for 2 people, a meal will cost hundreds of yuan. Luxury points, 200 or 300 can be spent. Shen Bingqian found that the quality of this restaurant was not bad. She carefully ordered the types of food she liked, and Lin Feng also ordered a few. Stand up. Have you ever dated a girl since you came to Beijing? I'm not talking about that kind of relationship, but the kind of love. No. Lin Feng thought to himself, after living in the partition room, I have dated 3 girls, including 4 of you, but none of them were my lovers, and neither were you. Shen Bingqian thought, it seems that your kid didn't start a new relationship after we broke up, then our drama will be even bigger, and I really loved you alone, now you earn more, I deserve it, spend your money. There were people around, and Lin Feng didn't want to talk too much about the relationship between men and women. Those people around might not know anyone after they walked out of the hotel, but Lin Feng still didn't want these strangers to hear too much about him. The spicy incense pot came up, and the taste was not bad. Shen Bingqian looked very cute when she was eating. When she was in love in college, Lin Feng liked to see Shen Bingqian eating. At that time, Shen Bingqian always said, "Stupid, what are you looking at? Hurry up and eat it, or I'll finish it all." Lin Feng is no longer in the mood to watch Shen Bingqian eat. He eats much faster than Shen Bingqian, as if he hadn't eaten for 3 days. Shen Bingqian was very sad without her past sentimentality. She felt that it was all her own making, and there was no reason to blame Lin Feng. Perhaps the past sentimentality would return after a long time. Shen Bingqian gave Lin Feng something to eat several times, but Lin Feng did not give Shen Bingqian once. Shen Bingqian felt that Lin Feng neglected her because she had resentment for her. Said a lot of things that could hurt Lin Feng's self-esteem. After eating, Lin Feng and Shen Bingqian walked out. If Lin Feng ate alone and walked out after eating, he would stroll around nearby, but with Shen Bingqian by his side, Lin Feng was not in the mood for a walk. Shen Bingqian is relatively unfamiliar with the street in front of her. Before this time, she had only been to Beijing once, and that time was not the same street. Accompanied by Lin Feng, he walked around. There are several universities near the street. Among them, the most famous ones are Beijing Normal University and Beijing University of Information Science and Technology. Let's go to Beijing Normal University. Shen Bingqian was very emotional. Lin Feng was depressed. There were Shang Yuna and Sun Yueling in Beijing Normal University, both of whom he didn't want to meet at this time. Although the campus was very big, he might come across it when he walked in. I don't want to go, I want to go back, I don't know why, I'm a little tired. Lin Feng. I beg you, don't do this to me. Are you calling a bird? Lin Feng was very annoyed. Shen Bingqian's tears flowed out, she bit her lip and cried, but she didn't run away like when she was angry before. Okay, stop crying now, you see how many people over there are watching, you thought I had done something to you, a stunning beauty. It's easy for beautiful women to win the sympathy of men, especially a top-notch beauty like Shen Bingqian. Those men were staring at them just now, and their eyes seemed to warn him, what's the matter with you, how can you let this happen? The beautiful girl is crying, if you don't want it, give it to us. Please, walk with me. Fine. Lin Feng accompanied Shen Bingqian to Beijing Normal University. Shen Bingqian stopped crying and was a little happier than before. She walked and looked around, comparing herself with the university she used to study in her heart. Lin Feng was a little worried, for fear that he would run into Shang Yuna and Sun Yueling. What was the fear? Shang Yuna really came over. Shang Yuna, in a round neck gown, black leggings and leather boots, was charming and hot. She was arrogant and charming. She walked over with graceful steps. Her superb beauty was immediately stunned. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 49. You lowercase writer, okay, where did you get such a big beauty? See if I won't give you some color. Thinking so, Shang Yuna shouted, hey, little rascal. Lin Feng was stunned for a moment. Sister Yuna, even if I saw your butt, you can't say that, right? Who is a hooligan? If you didn't lock the door when you went to the bathroom, I wouldn't break in to see it. Your turn. Lin Feng, what did your kid say? Hurry up and stop yelling at me, you are a teacher at this university. Look at those students, they are looking at you with astonishment, Lin Feng said. Shang Yuna immediately looked around. There were indeed more than 10 people looking in this direction. They must have heard what Lin Feng said just now, and 2 girls were talking about something with a smile. Shang Yuna was ashamed and ran away in a flash. Lin Feng walked forward indifferently, but Shen Bingqian's face was not so good looking. Good you Lin Feng, you have seen the beautiful teacher just now, how could she running to the bathroom in the house you rented? Who is she? My second landlord is Shang Yuna, Lin Feng said. Shen Bingqian now understands that since she is the second landlord, she has a good chance to go there. This beautiful teacher is too careless. How can she not lock the door when she goes to the bathroom, so that others can see her ass? It's not your fault, it's her. Shen Bingqian's heart was sour. No matter who was to blame, she didn't want Lin Feng to see Shang Yuna's ass. Even though she was no longer Lin Feng's girlfriend, Shen Bingqian still didn't want Lin Feng to see any other woman's butt. Yeah, blame her, what's wrong with me? Lin Feng thought, in fact, I have never seen her at all. I know her is big, white, and elastic, but I have never seen it. The reason why I say this is to anger her. I have twice chasing her love madness back from the thief, but she doesn't appreciate it at all. My mood can only be described by mine. The news spread quickly. Within half an hour, at least a few hundred people knew that a boy had seen the beautiful teacher Shang Yuna. All kinds of discussions are coming up one after another, which will inevitably set off a storm in Beijing Normal University. That kid is too beautiful, he actually saw teacher Shang's ass. Teacher Shang is the fantasy object of many boys and teachers in the school. There are at least hundreds of boys in our school who have fantasized about Mr. Shang, and there are probably some old professors who have fantasized about Mr. Shang. Indeed, Shang Yuna's charm is so great. In the past, when a boy gave her roses or chocolates, she would return it if she signed it, and throw it into the waste bin if she didn't sign it. It's not ordinary. There were also two male professors who had expressed their affection for her, both of whom already had families and children, but still expressed their affection for Shang Yuna with affection, and hinted to her that if you were good with me, there are many benefits, at least it can help when evaluating professional titles. But they all made Shang Yuna despise. Even if Shang Yuna couldn't become a professor in her life, she wouldn't use her graceful body to bribe those old guys. They are nothing. After walking out of Beijing Normal University together, Lin Feng took Shen Bingqian back to his partition room. After Shen Bingqian cleaned up the room for him, he looked much more comfortable. Although it was only a 10 square meter partition room, it could be arranged. Very reasonable. The big bed in a star hotel can be warm. A partition room of 10 square meters can also be warm. Lin Feng sat on the chair, Shen Bingqian sat on Lin Feng's lap, put her arms around his neck, and kissed his face. "Husband, when will your resentment towards me disappear?" Hearing Shen Bingqian calling him her husband, his heart was not warm at all. Instead, a cold air surged, as if he had suddenly walked into the snow from a warm room. Snowflakes are flying. Boundless. Even the floor of the partition room seemed to glow with white light, causing Lin Feng to sweat coldly on his forehead. When they were in love in college, Shen Bingqian often called Lin Feng her husband. At that time, Shen Bingqian's voice was very sweet, and it always gave Lin Feng the urge to fight, but now it sounds like it will only make him depressed. Lin Feng thought about buying a house in a big city and marrying Shen Bingqian. Lin Feng also thought about how honored he was when he took Shen Bingqian to participate in various activities. "Bingqian, don't yell, I'm not your husband, and I'm not your boyfriend. It will be in the future, I have this confidence. I'm no longer interested in you. I still say the same thing. If you want to be an ordinary friend, then do it. If you don't do it, you won't fall in love. There's no drama in love," Lin Feng said. "What about that?" Shen Bingqian smiled and said, "I guess you are very interested in this." Lin Feng said in his heart, "That thing of mine is very big, and I am very impulsive. I must be interested in doing it, but I no longer want to do it with you, even though I have already obtained your first daughter. Since you're not a husband or a boyfriend, then you can't do it," Lin Feng said. "I don't mind," Shen Bingqian said. "I remember that you were not a casual woman before. Although you kicked me and Zhao Liqiang made a good deal, I didn't think you were a casual woman because of this. Of course I'm not a casual woman. Women are different from men. You men are impulsive. You may find wild women to vent, but women can't easily find wild men. If there are no women in this world who like to find wild men, then it will be difficult for men to find wild women. According to the survey, women in the city, on average, each woman has had with about 6 men, including the family woman who has only been with one man in her life, but does not include those who may have been with thousands of men. The watch that has been done, otherwise the average value will be much higher, and more women will be shot while lying down. You and I do that, no matter if we can make it or not, I won't blame you." Shen Bingqian felt that if there was no such concession, it would be even more difficult for her and Lin Feng to get together. It seemed that Lin Feng was hurt too badly. It was indeed a big blow to Lin Feng that time, but what Lin Feng thinks more about now is that he and Shen Bingqian are not the same at all. Bingqian, I think you'd better stay at Xiao Yi's house first. Her place is bigger than mine, and the bed is bigger than mine. If you live with me, it will affect my rest. Does the force on my body affect your rest? I took you. Don't talk about it. I know you think of me as Cao Shuiying, but after all, you got my first daughter body, so you should treat me as a cheapskate. I still want to do it with you, do it now. Shen Bingqian was very excited, but Lin Feng was unmoved. Shen Bingqian went too far. She locked the door, then took off her clothes and lay down on the bed. Lin Feng looked at Shen Bingqian, who was wearing only a pair of trousers, and saw a large area of snow-white skin, a high chest, and that the contours of the wet places, the lines are beautiful. Although Shen Bingqian came from a poor family, she was born beautiful, and her beauty attracted many men, including Lin Feng. Among them, Zhao Liqiang is most likely to get Shen Bingqian's first daughter, but Zhao Liqiang didn't get it because his big supermarket caught fire. Lin Feng was already a thing of the past, but he got Shen Bingqian because of Wang Wei's prank. S first daughter. Lin Feng, even if I take it off, you won't get on, I will hate you. If I continue to you, you will hate me even more. No, maybe you will leave me a piece of beauty, even if we don't make it in the end, I will remember this beauty, Shen Bingqian said. Lin Feng's heart was even more chaotic. He finally took off his clothes and pressed him on Shen Bingqian's body. At this time, Lin Feng hadn't taken off his pants or rushed into Shen Bingqian's body, but her breathing was already rapid. While stroking Shen Bingqian's smooth skin, Lin Feng kissed her towering chest. Once again, he became warm with Shen Bingqian. Lin Feng's heart was very painful, but his body was very comfortable. He kept exercising, and Shen Bingqian's body kept rippling. Lin Feng's movements were getting faster and faster, and the two of them made a loud noise. This was a sound that made Shen Bingqian very shy, but she felt an indescribable pleasure in her shyness, which she had never felt before. She was very happy with this feeling. After the enthusiasm, Lin Feng rolled to one side, Shen Bingqian continued to breathe, and after more than 10 minutes, the two naked bodies hugged and fell asleep. I slept for almost 2 hours, then woke up and started again. It was another tens of minutes of enthusiasm, and I sat down until it was about time for dinner. Lin Feng wanted to call Wang Wei very much, but he knew that even if Wang Wei answered his call, she would not agree to let Shen Bingqian live in her house. Shen Bingqian also wanted to call Wang Wei. She grabbed her mobile phone and dialed Wang Wei's number. At this time, Wang Wei had left the company. She planned to go back after eating at a nearby restaurant. She saw that the call was Shen Bingqian. Picked it up with a slight smile. Bingqian, how are you and Lin Feng? Pretty good. It's happened a few times. I have. Shen Bingqian was a little embarrassed. I'll go back and play with you with Lin Feng. Okay, I'm going to eat first, let's talk later. Wang Wei was very excited and jumped to the restaurant. People on the way thought that this beautiful white-collar girl was very hot and lively. What do you want for dinner? Lin Feng asked. Eat noodles, Shen Bingqian said. Don't want to eat something good. Didn't you have mala fragrant pot for lunch? It's good to have noodles in the evening, Shen Bingqian smiled. Lin Feng thought to himself, if I treat you to 100 yuan for every meal, I will soon go bankrupt. My annual salary is more than 80,000 yuan, not more than 80,000 yuan per month. After eating noodles together, it was getting dark. Shen Bingqian had a great desire to take a walk. Lin Feng walked with her for a while and then returned to the partition room. Lin Feng started to code, and Shen Bingqian heard the crisp sound of the green axis mechanical keyboard again. She smiled and looked at Lin Feng's code, and read what Lin Feng wrote very seriously. When Lin Feng wrote almost 3,000 words, someone knocked on the door. Lin Feng was a little nervous. Maybe Shang Yunjuan brought Shang Yuna to ask her for guilt. He made Shang Yuna embarrassed at Beijing Normal University today. He opened the door and almost fainted when Bai Shan actually came, facing him with a charming smile, her hips twisting, her slender legs trembling slightly. Her beauty and hotness were extremely hot. Lin Feng, I'm here. I haven't seen you for a few days. You must have missed me. After Bai Shan finished speaking, she saw that a shockingly beautiful girl was looking at her hostilely. Lin Feng, who is she? One of my college classmates. Oh, hello, you are Lin Feng's college classmate. I am Lin Feng's reader. Bai Shan actually agreed with what Cao Shuiying said at the beginning, and also said that she was a reader of Lin Feng. Lin Feng thought, I have never had a relationship with my female readers before. Aren't you smearing my face? Shen Bingqian was so angry in her heart that she wanted to slap Bai Shan twice, and said coldly, you also came to urge the update? You even came to urge the update at night. Yeah, I'm here to urge the update. Lin Feng's novels have been slower these 2 days. I'm eager to read it. Bai Shan was embarrassed and could only make it up randomly. If she hadn't been so enthusiastic about Lin Feng when she first came in, no need to be so passive. Let me tell you, I'm Lin Feng's girlfriend, my name is Shen Bingqian. Stop pretending, you're not Lin Feng's reader at all. You and him probably have that kind of relationship, the kind of relationship that doesn't really matter but sometimes works together. What is it about? Bai Shan's face turned red. Although she is a woman who makes money by being a lover for men, she can also be shy. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 50. Lin Feng didn't have a girlfriend before, so I had a girlfriend with him. Now that he has a girlfriend, I will definitely not come in the future. I also hope you don't have a conflict with Lin Feng because of this. Bai Shan looked at Lin Feng and pulled open the bag and took out a Cordyceps sinensis cigarette. This is for you. Bai Shan actually didn't want to give the cigarette to Lin Feng, but she felt that such a good cigarette was brought out when Yeching Chen went abroad for inspection. When Yeching Chen was in the villa, Bai Shan would not easily touch his things, even an unknown amount of tobacco and alcohol. It was not easy to get close to a billionaire boss like Yeching Chen. She didn't want Yeching Chen to take her away as a thief. Lin Feng didn't take Shen Bingqian's feelings too seriously. He took the cigarette and said with a smile, Bai Shan, thank you. Well, I'm leaving. Bai Shan's heart was very sad. Lin Feng, maybe it would be difficult for me to see you again in the future. There is no such thing as a feast in the world. Maybe this relationship between us should also be broken up. Bai Shan left. Shen Bingqian was angry. Lin Feng, the panda cigarette you smoked is probably also given to you by her, right? She gave it to me. I wouldn't buy such expensive cigarettes myself. You're getting worse and worse. How can you keep smoking the cigarettes that women bought for you? Throw away all the cigarettes she gave you, Shen Bingqian said. Why do you order me? You said that you are my girlfriend just now, and I have no objection. Do you really take yourself as my girlfriend? Shen Bingqian, I warn you, if you have any face, get out, Lin Feng said coldly. Shen Bingqian was about to collapse. Standing on the ground, she felt dizzy, and touched her forehead with her hand. Her slender body swayed a few times, and she leaned against the computer desk. Lin Feng, am I really so unbearable in your heart? Even if I made mistakes in the past, I have given you my first daughter now. Please, can you be a little more tolerant of me? Shen Bingqian, you found the wrong person. What's the meaning? My monthly salary is not more than 80,000 yuan, but my annual salary is more than 80,000 yuan, Lin Feng said. According to Wang Wei, She wanted Lin Feng to tell Shen Bingqian the truth a month later, so that Lin Feng could at least do it dozens of times with Shen Bingqian. Wang Wei wanted Lin Feng to violently eat Shen Bingqian's tofu, but Lin Feng actually didn't want to eat it at all. Shen Bingqian's tofu. Lin Feng, you lied to me, you just don't want me anymore, that's why you said that. Look at the way I look now, do you think I'll be someone with a monthly salary of more than 80,000 yuan? Have you ever seen a person with an income of nearly 1 million a year living in a partition room of more than 10 square meters? I just became an online writer. In such a short period of time, how could it be possible to make a monthly salary of more than 80,000? Shen Bingqian calmed down a lot, and she also felt that what Lin Feng said just now was the truth, and she let Wang Wei be deceived. Shen Bingqian's face was pale. She was a very smart girl. When she was in college, she was awarded a first-class scholarship every time she took an exam, and her graduation thesis was excellent. Shen Bingqian completely figured out why Wang Wei lied to her, just to make her regret it, and then let Lin Feng eat her tofu. Shen Bingqian will definitely hate Wang Wei, even if I was a little bit cruel to Lin Feng before. We are a dormitory, the relationship has always been very good in college, you shouldn't play with me like this. Do you really want to find Xiao Wei to settle the bill? If you want to find her, I can take a taxi to take you there. If you don't go now, I will go tomorrow. I still want to live in your partition room tonight. Shen Bingqian looked at Lin Feng's face with tears in her eyes. Although you are not doing well right now, I believe in you. It's a boy with perseverance, you will definitely succeed in the future, but I can't wait, I'm afraid I'll fail you again, I'll kneel down for you. Shen Bingqian's legs were bent, and she wanted to kneel to Lin Feng, but Lin Feng supported her. It's not that serious, I know you will leave. To be honest, if it wasn't for the first time I took you as Cao Shuiying, I wouldn't be with you. When you had a relationship, I loved you before, and it was a pity that I didn't get your body when I was in love, but I didn't intend to make up for this regret. Shen Bingqian threw herself into Lin Feng's arms and cried bitterly. She couldn't say anything, she just cried. More than an hour later, Shen Bingqian was still crying, until someone knocked on the door to interrupt her crying. The one who knocked on the door this time was the new neighbor Lin Feng moved in, the woman whose husband and wife were both office workers. Her husband went on a business trip, and now she is the only one at home. It's you. I don't know your name yet. Oh, my name is Zhou Qingfang, and I live next door to you. I heard someone crying in your room for a long time. I was worried that something was wrong, so I came over to have a look. I'm so sorry for disturbing you. There's nothing wrong. She was just a little sad, so she cried. Lin Feng said. It's fine, then I'll go out. Zhou Qingfang walked out. Shen Bingqian stopped crying, took off her clothes indifferently, and covered Lin Feng's quilt when she lay on the bed. It seems that Shen Bingqian doesn't mind continuing to do that with him tonight. After he leaves tomorrow, I'm afraid he won't come again. Lin Feng has done it with Shen Bingqian a few times. He clearly found that his ex-girlfriend is a very famous person, and it is very comfortable to do that with her, but Lin Feng no longer wants to continue doing it with Shen Bingqian. After 1 o'clock in the morning, Lin Feng was still sitting on the chair. Shen Bingqian kept covering her head with a cup, but she did not fall asleep. Her head came out, and she smiled bleakly. If you don't do it, you will never do it again. No chance. It's gone, it's gone. Really not? No, Lin Feng said. I like doing it with you, so you should satisfy me, Shen Bingqian said. Who is your boyfriend or your husband in the future? Let him satisfy you, Lin Feng said. That night, Lin Feng did not do that with Shen Bingqian again. At 5 o'clock in the morning, Shen Bingqian sat up, and Lin Feng also sat up. It seems that you want to go to Wang Wei's house before she goes to work, then I'll take you back, Lin Feng said. You don't need to me. I'll take a taxi by myself. You didn't sleep well last night. Sleep a little longer. I'm sorry for disturbing you. Shen Bingqian didn't wash up, and walked out with her belongings. Although she didn't let it go, Lin Feng still followed. Lin Feng, are you a little reluctant to part with me? No, I don't have that feeling for you anymore, Lin Feng said to himself. Although we have done that, I still don't have that feeling for you, let alone that I haven't reached the monthly salary of more than 80,000 yuan, even if really achieved, I will not let you be my girlfriend again. Is there really nothing left? No more, Lin Feng said. It was impossible for Shen Bingqian to be with a man with weak financial strength like Lin Feng, but she still wanted to hear Lin Feng say that he still had feelings for her, but Lin Feng said that he had no feelings for her at all, and was very disappointed. Then guess, do I still have feelings for you? Shen Bingqian asked. This means nothing to me, and I won't bother to guess this. Lin Feng took Shen Bingqian to the side of the road, watched her get into the taxi, and then called Wang Wei. Wang Wei usually gets up after 6 o'clock, and then starts to wash and prepare to go to work. At this time, she is still in bed. Lying down, but she was awake. Seeing that it was Lin Feng who called, she immediately became puzzled. Why don't you put your arms around Shen Bingqian to sleep? Why did you call me so early? Lin Feng, what's wrong? Shen Bingqian went to find you. What did you say? What did she ask me for so early? Oh, you wouldn't tell her the truth so soon, right? Tell her, I really don't want to continue lying to her. I don't think it makes any sense to me to do so. What are you afraid of going up to her a few more times? When she leaves you, it will be difficult for you to go to her in the future, Wang Wei said. Xiao Yi, when we played together in college, I didn't realize that you were so terrifying when you were crazy sometimes. Do you really think I really want to go to Shen Bingqian? Lin Feng thought, if she was a different girl, then Jiao Mei, maybe I really want to fall in love with her, but the problem is, she is Shen Bingqian. Lin Feng, no matter what you think in your heart, you can't blame me. After all, I am helping you, or in other words, I am repaying you, because you have helped me a lot before, so I really want you to eat Shen Bingqian. I have to think about how to deal with Shen Bingqian. Wang Wei threw her phone aside and jumped when she got up. She dressed in a panic. If Shen Bingqian lost her temper, she would be very violent. Lin Feng had taught Shen Bingqian self-defense before, and she could even deal with 2 or 3 ordinary men. Maybe Shen Bingqian ran over and would beat her up. If it hurts her face, she won't be able to go to work today. Wang Wei is ready to ask for leave. The big deal is to deduct money. When Shen Bingqian arrived, she dialed Wang Wei's phone and told her that she was there. Wang Wei ran out and saw a lonely Shen Bingqian. At this time, Shen Bingqian was even more lonely than when she first arrived in Beijing. Shen Bingqian looked at Wang Wei's face, and Wang Wei looked at Shen Bingqian's face. A few minutes later, Shen Bingqian laughed bleakly. Xiao Yi, we have been friends for many years, this time you played me hard. Already? Actually, you played with yourself. If you weren't greedy for a man's wealth, you wouldn't be fooled. You are very sorry to Lin Feng. Even if I leave him again, I still love him the most. You can say that I am hypocritical, but what I love the most is him. If I left him in college, maybe you all think that I am sorry for him, but I have my own reasons for leaving him this time, and there is no possibility of being sorry for him, because he doesn't love me at all anymore. Could it be that Lin Feng really doesn't love Shen Bingqian at all? Could it be that what Lin Feng said before about his current attitude towards Shen Bingqian was the truth? Bingqian, if you have anything to say, come to my house and say it. I came to you to take my luggage, not to trouble you. If it wasn't for my luggage still at your house, I wouldn't come, Shen Bingqian said. Wang Wei finally breathed a sigh of relief. Shen Bingqian didn't come to trouble her, so she felt more relieved, but her heart was even more uncomfortable.